in the old style, but you've caused me enough trouble.
Hey, what's up, Turtle fans? Alright, so we've been itching to talk some spoilers regarding The Last Ronin. This book, this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book, has been highly anticipated since its announcement back in December of 2019, and now here we are talking about the first book in this 5-issue miniseries. We've already covered this book leading up to this video in terms of just covering all the different news and updates surrounding it. We even did a non-spoiler review, but for those who are just stopping by, this book is from an old outline Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles co-creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird came up with back in the 80s, and now with Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman again, has been fully fleshed out into this TMNT epic. So we're going to jump straight into spoilers in this video. If you haven't read the book and you don't want to be spoiled, now would be the time to leave. Go check out the non-spoiler review, go get the book, and then read it, and then come back here when you're ready, because we're going to dive into all the nitty-gritty details that went down. So for those of you familiar with the preview that came out before the book even came out, that's how the book starts. So the book starts with this lone turtle talking to someone off frame as he crosses the river into the city. And most of you already saw the videos of me covering that, and it's pretty straightforward. He jumps the wall, gets into the city, and it's when he gets in here that things start getting interesting. He walks through some alleys, and then he sees a giant crowd of people, and he's like, crap. And this is when we see the voices that are talking to him are his deceased brothers, and they are standing right behind him in spirit form, or maybe they're just voices in his head, but they are manifesting themselves in some type of visual way, and they're standing behind him, and they're all grayed out. You can't see which turtle's which. And our main turtle says, you know, I'm just trying to get from here to there, and he points at that building in the center of the city that a lot of you guys in the comment section have said looks a lot like Shredder's helmet, but he wants to get there as quick as possible. At least you get the sense he does. And so he steals someone's motorcycle and takes off. Now this is where we get kind of a big setup for the end of the book, and at first I just thought it was just a fun little Easter egg. You get this guy that comes out of like one of the stores or something, and they're walking towards the motorcycles, and he says, check it out, Jones, some fool jacked your wheels. And you see this girl, and she's upset. She's like, what the hell? Where the hell did my bike go? And I thought, oh, Jones, this is probably Casey Jones's daughter. At first I thought it was just like a fun little Easter egg thing, like maybe we were going to see other characters with similar names to other characters throughout the book, but she actually plays a bigger part later. Anyways, the turtle takes off in the motorcycle, not very stealthy. He's just going really fast. He's just getting to where he needs to get. It doesn't matter if he's seen or not, he is going to get to his destination. As you can tell by the next part, where he uses the motorcycle to blow up a fuel truck that blasts him higher up to a level that he needs to get into this facility. So much attention is drawn to him at this point that there's no turning back now. He makes his way in, but an alarm goes off, and this is when we see those foot robot things come after our main character, and he starts throwing smoke bombs and making a break for it. He's able to get the jump on one of them, and he kind of just beats the crap out of it. And it looks like it's over, but it gets up like a zombie, and it starts coming back at him, and he's like, whoa. He even says, this Robo Ninja Cop's tougher than it looks. And so he goes even harder on it, pretty much decapitating it. The head goes flying off. But when it lands, our character notices that the part where the eye is got broken, and you can see that there's a human eye there. And you can see that the spirit of his brothers, or the manifestations or whatever, start talking like, hey, is that a human eye right there that we're looking at? And one of them says, looks like some kind of a cyborg. I think more synthetic than human. And they start like talking with each other like, a synthetic ninja? What's going on here? I got the sense that they were growing their own ninjas, like some type of a cloning farm or something, but we don't know yet. More of these robo ninjas start rolling up. He decapitates a couple of them. You even hear him say the old line from the very first Ninja Turtles book, as he says a line to himself, remember the first real lesson our father taught us, strike hard and fade away, which I thought was a nice nod to the old books. And he's doing this as he's running away from all these robo ninjas, and he's taking them out in the process. Then he jumps from like a moving train thing onto a bunch of flying cars. It's kind of like how Anakin does in the prequels. He lands on one that's being flown by more robo ninjas. He throws them out, but the controls are jammed, so this car is just kind of flying aimlessly through the air, and the thing smashes and explodes as he jumps off of it, and his brothers are just off to the side like ripping him, and he's just like, whatever, shut up. But this has caused so much disturbance at this point that it has gotten to the top, to the main person, the main bad guy, and we get a first look at our main villain of the series, Oroku Hiroto, as our Ronin character calls him, the so-called master of the Foot Clan and Karai's bastard son, the Shredder's grandson. I thought it was kind of strange that they emphasized so much that he's Karai's bastard son, so maybe the father is another important character. That's something to kind of keep your eye on. Maybe Karai hooked up with Casey Jones at one point. I know it's not in continuation with like the old Mirage comics, but there was that weird time in like in the later Mirage comics where Casey stayed the night at Karai's and you really didn't know what happened the night before. Maybe they got inspired by that. They did say they were going to largely lean on the Mirage comics. Maybe this is one of those things. Anyways, we don't know if this guy can fight yet. He seems to be very protected by layers of security, but he is cold-blooded, as he says he wants this operation of catching this guy to be broadcast to the entire city, the pursuit, the capture, and the execution, to kind of set an example. It's in this sequence that we get mention of the bottom district, which I imagine would be where all the outcasts live that don't like fit in with the city and stuff. I believe this bottom district is going to play a big factor in the story. I'm pretty sure it's where our turtle is at the end of the book. So it looks like our turtle gets closer to like the main entrance of the facility now. But one of his spirit brothers says, I think you just ran out of miracles, bro. As you can just see, there's so much personnel there. And then as that spirit brother continues his line, we see that it's in a red dialogue box, totally indicating that this is Raphael talking to our turtle. And he says, we've been in tough spots before, but that's practically impossible. At this moment, I knew Raphael was dead. He's one of the dead brothers. And it kind of confirmed to me also who the Ronin was. Anyways, you do see the line uttered, same as it ever was, right after this. I wonder if it was on purpose. Anyhow, the turtle latches on to the bottom of a car as it flies into the facility and hides behind some crates. And he pretty much does a direct attack because he thinks they're not going to expect it. If you hadn't got the feeling up until this point, this is definitely when you got the feeling that this turtle is going for broke. My only question was, why now? What happened that all of a sudden had this turtle go, okay, now I'm going to attack? Oroku Hiroto says at one point, how the hell was he even alive to commence such idiocy? I wiped those dreadful things from the face of the earth a decade ago. So what has this turtle been doing for 10 years? Was it just hiding out, coming up with this plan? Which it doesn't really seem like he has one. He's just kind of going for it. Or were all four of them dead and he somehow, maybe through the mutagen, came back from the dead and is going out to kill them for what they did to his family? There's a rich backstory here that I hope we get to hear. This is when the big fight starts with all of these robots and he's fighting all of them at once, flying through the air, kicking them in the face, throwing grenades, blowing all of them up. Then some start coming out that have like upgrades. They have like these little jetpacks and wings or blades, and he indicates that it moves faster than the others. And this next part is where I started kind of getting indication of, I wonder if Shredder's grandson can fight, because our Ronin says, more toys, Hiroto? Machines do all your fighting for you? Gutless. I can't wait to meet you. I mean, maybe he can fight. Maybe we'll see him in like the armor, the Shredder armor and stuff, and he'll fight our main character. But what if he's never fought in his life and he's just ran this empire with all the security this whole time? The Ronin points at one of the security cameras and says, I'm coming for you, coward, and I know you're scared. This is when Hiroto sees that it's a mutant turtle, and he sends all available foot to deal with him. And he even says at one point, I thought I'd killed off you pathetic mutants before, a mistake I will not make twice. So a little glimpse into the backstory there. Anyways, there's the regular robot ninjas, and then there's the elite ninjas, just like with the regular Foot Clan before they were robots, and this is when the Ronin says, I must be getting close. And that was these characters that we saw in the trailer there that had the different faces. I thought it looked like clown faces, but yeah, that's them. And the Ronin just kind of goes through them so easy. He's going through all of these robots like a hot knife through butter. It's not even a challenge. He is just straight ripping through them. And you can see Hiroto freaking out. He's like, activate the Stockman tech. Yeah, as in Baxter Stockman technology. And we get another little glimpse into the rich history here of what is going on here. So he and Baxter Stockman have formed some type of an alliance, or maybe he has him forced to work for him. We don't really know, but we do know that they are connected somehow. And this is when some mousers start coming out of the wall, and they're flying mousers with lasers, which I thought was kind of funny. It was almost like when Mr. Burns from The Simpsons had the hounds, but the hounds have bees in their mouth, and when they bark, they shoot bees at you. I don't think it was meant to come off as funny, but it did remind me of that. The mousers definitely look different. They don't look like the regular mousers. They almost look like little like pugs or something. And our character, it looks like he like smacks his tongue fist together to create an EMP, which kind of disables the little mousers. But there's this giant like berserker mouser that's running at him, and so he pulls out the katana for that one, but the momentum is too much, and it just launches the two of them out of the window of this high-rise building. And this is where you start getting like that sinking feeling, like everything this character has just gone through is all melting away. All the progression, all the hard work to try to get to the top and get to Hiroto is all melting away. And you kind of think like, oh, maybe he'll use a grappling hook just to kind of get away from the situation. Or he'll land on an awning or in a pile of trash and just kind of roll away and figure it out tomorrow. Nope, he smacks straight into the concrete. He says everything feels broken, and he is just coughing up blood profusely. And all the citizens are just kind of gathering around him like, what the hell just happened? And we see that the robot foot are kind of trying to get to the situation, trying to move through the crowd, and they confront the same group of people that we saw at the beginning that was with that Jones girl whose bike got stolen, and she says, oh, he went off that way, kind of misdirecting them, sending them in a different direction. And she notices that the turtle actually went down a sewer, and there's just blood leading up to the sewer. Now, we as an audience, we're now in the sewer and we're following the turtle, and he is just coughing up more and more blood. And this is when our turtle takes off his gear, and we actually see him just as a turtle, and I love the way he looks here. I thought he looked so sick in this part. And just with like the blood coughing, and just seeing like your hero this way, like at the very bottom, I love to see stuff like this. I think it makes for a great story. And this is when it got really sad, because he knows he's dying, and he starts taking out all the different turtle weapons and laying them on the ground. And then he takes out the 4 Ninja Turtle bandanas, the blue, the red, the orange, the purple, and he lays them all down on top of the weapons. And he just says to himself, we were always so different, so much alike. I miss my brothers so much, and I miss my father. And you see the turtle pull out this book that was probably Splinter's book, and then he says, more than anything else, I wanted to make him proud. And then he grabs Leonardo's broken sword and puts it up to his stomach as he is about to perform seppuku. But there's too much blood in his throat, and he starts to collapse, and you can see him saying, no, not yet, not like this, as he goes down. And this is when that Jones girl just kind of walks in on him, and she's like, holy crap, no way, you're a mutant turtle. Almost like she's heard of them before, maybe by her dad, but it's definitely a little different than the old comics, because she knew who the turtles were. She would have known which turtle this was, the way April does at the end. So it looks like they're going down a different route in this aspect. But anyways, the turtle flatlines. You can see that he flatlines, and you kind of get the idea he kind of goes into the afterlife, and all his brothers are there, and they're all happy that he's waking up, and they're in the old sewer lair, and there's just this heavenly glow to everything, and you can tell by the turtle belts which turtle this is not. But just as the Ronin starts asking them questions, he starts to wake up and sees an older, weathered April O'Neil standing at his bedside as he's hooked up to all these medical machines. And he can't believe it. He's like, April, is that really you? And she's like, yeah, it's me. And then the biggest line of the whole book is at the very end, where she says, who are you just talking to, Michelangelo? And so it was confirmed that the last Ronin is Michelangelo. Although I have seen people speculating that maybe we're reading that last line wrong. Maybe she's asking, who are you talking to, Michelangelo? Like she's asking, was this character talking to Michelangelo? Which I don't think is the case. I feel like there's just too much pointing into the direction that it is Michelangelo, and I feel like it would have been written a little differently, like with 2 question marks, like who are you talking to, question mark, Michelangelo, question mark, and it's not written that way. Now, maybe it could be written this way, I don't know. But there's also the orange boxes in his inner monologue, which we saw the red box for Raphael. It has to be Michelangelo. I feel like like that'd be too confusing of a twist. It's 99% Michelangelo. I'll give it a 1%. Maybe there's an off chance that it's not, but it's Michelangelo. And there might be some reaction like, oh man, they revealed it so soon, but I think there's going to be other hooks that will get us for the future books. I have a feeling for like the next 4, they're gonna just show us how each turtle died through flashbacks. I don't know that for sure, but if it does happen, get ready for some really sad moments in this book. Now, a couple things I didn't talk about, like the Jones girl definitely brought the turtle to April. So Casey Jones's daughter, if that's what she is working together with April O'Neil to some capacity. They definitely know each other. Whether they're related, we don't know yet. And there was also the big moment where we see Oroku Hiroto talking with Karai, who appears to be in a cryogenic tube hooked up to some neurological things. She's not conscious. She looks like she's probably been like this for a while and they're just trying to keep her alive. No word on how she got like this. We'll probably see in flashbacks, or someone will tell the story of how all this happened. But that's pretty much it for the spoilers when it comes to this book. There's a lot of good setup here for the future books. I cannot wait to see what's in store for issue 2. That's coming out in December. Same thing with that one. I believe I will do a non-spoiler review the day of, and then a spoiler review a couple days later. I feel like that's working out pretty good. And we'll cover any and all things leading up to it like we did with this one. But I think that about does it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching. Let me know down below, what was your favorite moment of the first issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments section. Also, if you're new to the channel and you want more turtles in your life, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That's all we talk about on here is new, old, and upcoming turtle stuff. Also hit thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Thanks everyone for watching. I will see you in a little bit with another video. Take care.
Thank you.